Hello and welcome to another episode of Barely Contained, the podcast that takes a deep dive into the world of online showbiz journalism. My name is Matt Withers and I'm once again joined at a safe social distance of 57,936 metres by Chris Beckett to decompound some of the crispest communiques from show business's fourth estate, including Richard Madeley's menacing stare, Scarlett Moffatt's spectral dating boundaries and Bradley Walsh's air high fives. Let's go. Well, hello once again, Chris Beckett.
Hi, Matt Withers. How are you?
I am pretty good. How are you doing?
Yeah, fine, actually. Thanks for asking.
Some pretty big news broke today in the world of online showbiz journalism. I don't know if you caught this, but the Daily Express has launched a new email newsletter called Breakfast TV Newsletter. If you sign up for it, they will send you a daily email with all the stories from GMB and BBC Breakfast.
Wow, that sounds like a mine of information that's right up our alley.
It sounds like a pretty big news story. It's kind of blowing out what's going on in Australia with Facebook out of the water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who cares about being shut out when you've got access to that sort of content?
Well, I've got a story for you from the Daily Star online. It's by Sasha Morris, and it's headlined, Richard Madeley baffles This Morning fans with his unusual habit while Judy talks.
What could it be?
Former This Morning presenter Richard Madeley distracted viewers today as they spotted his unusual habit while his wife Judy Finnegan chatted to Eamon and Ruth on the show. This Morning presenters Ruth Langsford and Eamon Holmes welcomed former hosts Richard Madeley and Judy Finnegan onto the show to talk about their selections for their book club. As Judy spoke about their selections from her home, which she shares with Richard.
Fair enough.
A bit of detail there. Fans couldn't help but notice how intently Richard looked at her while she was talking.
It's almost as if they were married.
He was seen looking at her while sitting next to her, and it didn't take long for viewers to take to social media to comment on his habit.
Oh, of course it didn't. It doesn't take long for anyone to flock to social media at the moment.
One posted, "The way Richard is staring at her is making me feel uneasy." Another added, "Looking at her for a menacingly long time there."
Menacingly?
Menacingly.
If he was going to do something, I think he'd have pulled it many, many years earlier.
I mean, Richard has been playing the long game here. He's been biding his time to give Judy a proper good menacing.
Yeah.
A third said, "Richard has a weird way of staring at Judy when she's speaking." A fourth chipped in, "Just me that finds it a touch weird, the way Richard looks at Judy when she's chatting." A fifth swooned, "The way Richard looks at his beloved Judy." Another agreed.
No, I like that. I like that one. That's the romantic on Twitter.
Two people can see a man looking at a woman. One sees romance, the other sees menacing.
Yes, well, the other sees murder.
I don't know if you're suggesting he was going to murder her.
Look, no, we all know what they're getting at.
Well, he might have taken her from a supermarket without paying.
Well, hang on, let's not rake over old coal.
Yeah, I need to check to see what the statutes of limitations on such things
Yeah.
are. It's probably on his Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Another agreed, "Find you a man that looks at you the way Richard looks at Judy."
Oh.
Final line, "This is an ongoing news story."
Well, keep us posted.
Yeah. Chris, I believe you've been taking a delve into the lesser spotted Metro and the story about Scarlett Moffatt.
Yes, indeed, Matt. And this is written by Katie Story. And it goes, Headline, Scarlett Moffatt is up for dating ghosts, but would, in quotes, go mental if her boyfriend cheated on her with one.
I'm just enjoying a lovely bit of nominative determinism in the name Katie story.
Yeah, and sadly there's an E, but you know, she's the right woman for the job. Scarlett Moffatt may be all loved up with a human, but that doesn't mean she'd be opposed to dating a ghost.
Oh, so we know that this is
You
someone.
mean, ooh.
Ooh, we know that this is going to be a playful story by the use of the word in the intro.
Absolutely. The former I'm a Celebrity winner, 30, revealed that if she was approached by a good-looking ghost to get it on, she'd be all up for heading out on a few dates with it and seeing where things go.
Of course she would.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
She's not a bigot.
When asked how she'd react if she found out her boyfriend Scott Dobinson had cheated on her with a ghost, Scarlett revealed she has no time for being unfaithful, whether it's with a human or not, and insisted she'd still go mental.
Oh, wow. So much in there. I do not know her boyfriend, Scott Dobinson.
Is that nominative determinism as well?
I just wonder, and you may be the only person listening who appreciates this reference, Chris, apart from me. It would be as if Sensible World of Soccer had done a team made up of characters from Neighbours, but because they didn't have the rights to use the actual names, Jason Donovan's character would be Scott Dobinson.
Wow, that is a fantastic shout. Yeah, like Helen Danilo. So, yes, while appearing on BBC Sound's podcast, 6 Degrees, with Jamie Lang and Spencer Matthews, Jamie asked Scarlett, "Can I ask you a personal question about ghosts?"
That, Chris, is what I pay my license fee for.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you were in your single days and you woke up and there was a really good looking ghost, he was wearing a t-shirt and jeans and he started to flirt with you and said, "Come on, let's get it on," would you say, "All right, let's do it"?
Why would the ghost be wearing a t-shirt and jeans?
You know, they want to fit in. We all want to be accepted, Matt, even the spectral community.
Well, I would say everybody knows that ghosts wear a white sheet with 2 eyes cut out of it.
I think obviously your knowledge of ghosts is restricted to the cartoon Scooby-Doo.
Yes, it is.
I think I'd say we need to go on a couple of dates first, Scarlett joked.
Old-fashioned lady.
Yeah, exactly. You need to wine and dine her. Spencer then pointed out she'd be the only person who could see the ghost and said behaviour with the ghost. But Scarlett doubled down on her answer. "Well, I'd still want to go out for food and get to know it." It's quite heartwarming, really. Asked how she'd feel about her man having a relationship with a ghost, Scarlett said she 100% thinks it's cheating.
Quite right.
"If I found out that Scott was cheating on me, I'd go mental," she said. Explaining all her anger would be directed at Scott as opposed to the ghost. Scarlett added, "It's not the ghost's fault. She might not know that we're in a relationship. I would blame Scott."
I mean, that's fair enough, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. You can't just blame the girl power and all that. I'd be like, "You've been playing the both of us. You've been messing around with her, messing around with me." The conversation got even weirder as Spencer then asked how Scarlett would feel if she woke up in the middle of the night and Scott was having a bit of fun with the girl ghost, but he didn't know the ghost had just snuck in.
Wow, they're really drilling deep into this highly unlikely ghost bed scenario.
It's spooky menage a trois. "What? In the bed with me? Nah." Then I'd be like, "Mrs., I'm not being funny. You're taking a piss now. You need to get out. One step too far," Scarlett fumed.
One step too far, ghost.
She and boyfriend Scott have been dating for over 2 years now. Scarlett recently told fans that she feels like 2020 actually brought her closer to her boyfriend as they navigated their way through lockdown together. In a sweet post on Instagram, Scarlett said, 2020, can't wait to tell you to, well, in a nutshell, F off. The only thing that 2020 has brought me is closer to this man, at Scott Dobby. Heart emoji. I always think of myself as independent, strong-willed and a feminist, but that doesn't mean that I can't say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for helping me to get through this year.
Yeah, but if you get frisky with a ghost, you're out.
Yeah, if you start, playing hide the sausage with a poltergeist, this is over.
If I catch you with Casper, it's getting overly friendly.
Yeah, exactly. Too friendly. The former Gogglebox star and policeman Scott first got together when Scarlett slid into his DMs after enlisting his help over a weird pap during a 999 call. Scott came to her house to deal with the situation, and finding him fit, Scarlett plucked up the courage to make a move. And the rest, as they say, is history. Wow, Katie's story. That is an absolute classic.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Katie, and your nominative determinism.
Woo. Okay, Matt. Now, I understand that you've got a story from the Daily Mail about the actress and former model Famke Janssen.
Well, I'm glad that you know who she is. I have to confess, I had never heard of her.
She was in GoldenEye, Matt. She was Xenia on a top.
I only know about GoldenEye from the guy in the room next door in Halls who played it all day, every day.
That could well have been me.
Okay, well, this is another bit of nominative determinism because it's by dailymail.com reporter, who's only ever going to become one thing.
Writing as if they were born to it.
And the headline is Famke Janssen looks stunning as she steps out in NYC donning a black coat and red skirt.
Sounds like a lot of material in this story.
Yeah. Yes, indeed you do. Famke Janssen was a fashion plate as she was snapped in New York City on Monday.
Could you read that again slowly?
Famke Janssen was a fashion plate.
Yep. Hang on. Whoa. Plate.
As in
meaning?
It's something that the refined classes like to eat their dinner off.
Yes. So she was a plate.
She was a fashion plate as she was snapped in New York City on Monday. Okay,
well, not wanting to criticize dailymail.com reporter, but this is an intro for a leading online newspaper.
Yeah.
Well, what does fashion plate mean?
I not only don't know, I couldn't even fathom a guess.
All right, well, carry on, but I'm glad that I've registered my disapproval.
Well, perhaps if any young people are listening, they could contact us and let us know. Given that we've already done a little joke about Sensible World of Soccer and Scott Robinson in Neighbours, it's highly unlikely that if any people of a young persuasion were listening, they've stuck with it this far.
Yeah, they're all playing Call of Duty.
The Dutch actress, 56, kept warm on the late winter day in a short black coat with a red print skirt, black pantyhose, and black boots. The How to Get Away with Murder actress wore a dark face mask with stars and a pair of sunglasses resting on her dark auburn locks, which were down and parted on the outing.
On the outing?
Don't know what that means.
This is quite a hit rate, this story so far.
Janssen, who's portrayed Jean Grey multiple X-Men films, was seen holding a narrow package with a red bow on it as she made her way through town and had a black leather purse in tow.
I mean, the start of that sentence reminds me of messages that I regularly get sent to my spam filter. Jean Grey multiple X films.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't quite work, that. And the black leather purse in tow suggests she's just pulling it along on a piece of string like a dog.
Exactly.
The brunette stunner who's been seen in Nip Tuck, Goldeneye, and Hemlock Grove, is set to headline the upcoming film The Vault.
Okay.
The movie is about a consortium of thieves who seek to rob the Bank of Spain amid the distraction of the country's team playing in the final match in the World Cup soccer tournament. Or as you and I might call it, Chris, the World Cup final.
I mean, that very much fits in with the sensible world of soccer. Have we got the rights to call it the World Cup final? No.
Yeah. The final match in the World Cup soccer tournament.
And, not to criticize the film before it's even come out, but it doesn't sound like a classic in the making.
No. I can't imagine it's going to stand up structurally. I'd have my questions about every employee of the Bank of Spain being distracted by the final match of the World Cup soccer tournament, but we shall wait and judge when it comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Janssen plays the role of Margaret in the film, which was initially titled Way Down. The motion picture co-stars Freddie Highmore, Astrid Burgess-Frisbee, Liam Cunningham, and Sam Riley.
How many of those do you know?
None.
No, really? Come on.
No.
I've not heard of Astrid Burgess-Frisbee, but I mean, it's a great name. I won't forget it from now on.
A little bit more detail about herself.
Many pictures.
There are a lot of pictures, all of which I would say are completely identical.
Yeah.
The Vault, directed by Jorge Balaguero, debuts March the 26th in select theatres and on demand. Theatres are very much spelled in the American way, and also because we don't call cinemas theatres. And also there aren't any cinemas or theatres open in the world.
No, exactly. But, all's the more for us to focus on stories like this.
And that, I'm afraid, is that. Finally, Chris, we're returning to the ever-popular subject of The Chase, and the Daily Star Online's Alva McMahon has been writing about it again.
Yes, indeed. So, the headline is, The Chase fans baffled after spotting Bradley Walsh's social distancing habit on show. Could that be? The Chase viewers have picked out a new habit Bradley Walsh has acquired over the past year, following the implementation of social distancing restrictions in the studio. The Chase fans love Bradley Walsh's charisma on the screen, known for his witty one-liners and warmth towards the contestants.
He's a warm guy.
He certainly is. However, certain fans noticed he'd picked up a new habit on the show, spotting the change following the implementation of social distancing restrictions in the studio.
Ooh, is his new habit social distancing?
It could be. I would say it's under familiarity. The Chase viewers realised Bradley had started doing, in quotes, air high fives with the successful contestants, congratulating their wins from a safe distance. In previous years, Bradley preferred to give contestants a solid handshake, but the new restrictions have meant he's had to change his approach.
I mean, we don't know for a fact, but I'd say Bradley is a solid handshake man.
I imagine he doesn't proffer the wet kipper. You've had your hand shaken.
I think he would be the kind of guy who would use both hands. So he'd go in with a handshake and then he'd clasp the other side with his other hand.
That's the power move. That's the sort of Tom Cruise handshake.
That's the sort. He's a man's man.
I would say that he wouldn't crush your hand though. He wouldn't be all about the macho power trip. He'd just be solid, double hands. Well done. Good to see you.
Yeah, sort of, and I think he'd splash a little bit of olive oil on first.
Okay. Possibly, yes. First player Farouk was on the receiving end of one such high five on Tuesday's episode when he trumped chaser Paul Cena and bought £4,000 back for the team.
So you're going for Paul Cena, are you?
I guess it should be Sinner, isn't it? Given that he's the Sinner man.
Yeah, he's not the Cena man.
Yeah, he's not the Cena man. Yeah, fair enough. I stand corrected. Meanwhile, over on Twitter, viewers couldn't help but point out the habit, having grown tired of watching social distancing on their screens.
They couldn't help it.
Poor jaded viewers. One wrote, "This whole contactless high five business is doing my head in." Air high five klaxon, added a second. And a third chimed, "Awkward high five. Why do the stupid invisible high five? A well done is fine," another grumpy fan wrote. Having finally run out of pre-recorded installments in the hit ITV quiz show, The Chase aired its first ever socially distanced episode last month. The usual players' table had been elongated to ensure the contestants were appropriately distanced, meaning all 4 players sit further apart than usual. On top of that, perspex panels were placed between them, creating a partition to adhere to government safety guidelines. Despite their confusion over the air high fives, fans of The Chase have generally had a positive reaction to the socially distanced version of their favourite show. It's glad to know it hasn't totally ruined it for them.
No. Imagine if you were like a massive super fan of The Chase and you're like, "No, I'm not having perspex panels. These perspex panels have completely ruined it for me."
I can't see past that. Last October, the celebrity edition of The Chase came under fire when the contestants were seen hugging each other after winning the prize fund. Fans were quick to complain, but ITV soon released a statement assuring viewers the episode had been filmed in correspondence with COVID guidelines. Off-screen measures had also been taken during the production, implementing temperature checks and arranging the wearing of face masks behind the scenes. At the time, an ITV spokesperson told the Mail Online, "As such, host Bradley Walsh and the celebrity contestants were able to physically interact for short intervals." Matron. "The safety of our cast and crew is of the utmost importance." The Chase airs on weekdays at 5 p.m. on ITV.
If you want any other related articles, you've got The Chase Beauty Flaws fans with knowledge good enough to be a chaser. The Chase viewers flawed as ageless beauty unveils true age on ITV show. And The Chase viewers demand major change to show amid flurry of cautious contestants.
Yeah, sadly, unfortunately, this story hasn't picked up any online comments on the Stars site as yet. I mean, it's surely only a matter of time for the air high fives,
People take to Twitter these days, Chris. And if you've learned anything from the past 30-odd episodes of this podcast, people...
Yeah, well, that's Twitter. The thing, Matt. I really haven't learned anything.
No, if anything, I've got stupider.
Yeah. But, that was very enjoyable.
Yes, it was. We should do it again, perhaps in a couple of weeks' time.
I think that's definitely the way we should do it.
But in the interim, Chris, is there some way that people could interact with the brand?
Yes, in a socially distanced way, you can visit our Twitter page at barely_pod. Or if you're, still on side with Zuckerberg, you can go to our Facebook web page, which is Barely Contained the Podcast.
Good stuff.
All sorts of extras.
Yeah. Keep 2 meters.
Keep 2 meters. Don't forget your perspex panels.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.